All right, well, good evening. My name is Sarah Rose Stack. I'm the Director of Internet Sales and Training with maWebCenters, and I'm happy to be here with you all great people tonight to discuss the importance of responsive design. Now, a lot of people thought that responsive design was actually just a fad. It was one of those internet fads where, it required kind of a lot of effort to get started and all for what? Just so that it looks cool or, it might be a little bit more favorable. But what I'm here to tell you is actually, I don't think responsive is going away at all. In fact, in just a few weeks, Google is going to be launching a brand new algorithm which is going to index sites that are responsive or mobile friendly higher than those that are not. And that's really for a very simple reason. Google and Yahoo and Bing and just search engines, they're in the market of giving good referrals. And very simply put, that just means when a person goes to their search engine, they look for a term. And the search engine's job is to return uh, the most relevant result that's possible. But it's not just about content anymore. More than 60% of people are actually visiting Google on mobile devices now. And so Google is saying, look, if we want people to come back to our website, if we want them to continue to use our search engines, we not only have to return results that have relevant content, but that also have a good user experience. And so I'll share with you some statistics in just a minute. But what you can understand is that when people are going to websites and they're looking at them on their smartphone or their mobile device, and the website is not mobile friendly and they've got to like pinch to zoom and do all these weird things, they don't stay on the website. And there are hard facts and hard statistics on that, but just think about your own um, experiences using websites on your mobile device. When a site is mobile, we generally we'll stay on it longer because the experience is easier. We don't have to do all this work just to get the content that we want. And so, what the search engines are doing and are going to be doing is they are going to be indexing websites really based on two big criteria. These are the two big ones. The first one is content. Content is king, meaning everything on your website that's written needs to be congruent with the page title, the keywords, and any descriptions that you give that page. And so we'll do a webinar on SEO and strategies behind that in the future, but content is still a big factor in all of this. So I just wanted to be clear about that just because your website is mobile doesn't or responsive isn't automatically going to make it, shoot to the top. However, content is not the only big determining factor like it used to be. The second determining factor is going to be, is your website responsive? Is it mobile friendly? And Google can tell these things by figuring out, how is the website built? Is it fixed or is it adjustable? Those are really the big things that they can look for. Are the images adjustable or are they fixed? Are they just large? Will it load quickly or will it load slowly? And so their new algorithm that's going to be launched is going to look for these items. Now, as a business owner, you really have two choices to have a mobile friendly website. You could create a mobile website, which is a second website that's mobile friendly. And really, up until about 2 or 3 years ago, that's what most people did. Or your second option is just to have your website designed responsively. And so we're going to be educating on how to have your website designed responsively simply because it is the best choice for you for a number of reasons. When you build a second website that's a mobile website, you're now adding to your to-do list a whole second website to keep its content up to date. That's right. They're two separate websites. And so that becomes a nightmare to manage. I mean, most business owners are busy enough managing their actual business, and most business owners really struggle to keep their website's content up to date as it is. So to add a whole second website to manage becomes a little bit unreasonable. But more importantly than that, when you build a second website as a mobile site, you're actually hurting your SEO value because they're two separate sites. So they have two separate sets of analytics. So while your business may be getting 1,000 visitors per month, your mobile site might be getting, I don't know, 600 of those visitors, and your other site might be getting 400 of those visitors. So Google then looks at each of those websites as individual sites, and although combined, that's a lot of traffic. Each website looks less relevant in the eyes of the search engine because they actually have less traffic. One only has five, one only has five, yet one has six, one has four. And so it works against you for good SEO value to have a separate mobile website. Responsive design just makes perfect sense for so many reasons. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute, and why responsive solves most of those issues. From there, I'm going to talk to you about how you can work with our free responsive layout. So if you're a website client, you have access to upgrade your website to a responsive layout for free. And we have 24/7 tech support that can help you with that. But I actually wanted to go over a couple of the best practices, or the things that are a little bit different when you're editing in responsive than you would be editing in the old editor or the traditional web content management system. So I'm going to show a couple of videos for that and give you a couple little tips so that when you do transition to responsive, you're doing so, easier, and you're doing it the right way. We're also going to preview and talk a little bit about our premium responsive layouts. For just $100, you can get a whole bunch of other really great things, and then a couple of other options for going responsive. So tonight's session is meant to be quick, but there will be some really great videos that you'll be able to review in the future. And then, as always, if you're not the kind of person that wants to review a video in order to, edit your site, you can always live chat with our tech support, or you can call in 24/7 and somebody will walk you through any of the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight. So again, the first thing we've got to address is, why go responsive at all? Are you invested in the decision to go responsive? Because, to be completely honest, it will take a little bit of your time. It's not as simple as just logging in and clicking a button and now the website is responsive. It's a completely different editor, and the way that the website is built is different. That's what actually gives it that awesome functionality. So I just explained to you how important it is to be responsive if you actually want to, rank highly with search engines. Also, just for the sheer fact that the user experience is better, which means people will stay on your website longer, right? Those are the two big reasons why you would need to go responsive. But the biggest reason from a technical standpoint is, by going responsive, you no longer need to create a separate site for your PCs, your tablets, or your smartphones. And guys, you know that hardware and technology it's expanding all the time. And at this point, we actually have a fourth category of device. We've got this category of phablet, right? A phablet is an oversized phone. It's not quite a tablet, but it's definitely bigger than your average smartphone. And so, if you're trying to manage websites that load optimally for all three or four of those devices, it becomes a nightmare to manage. Well, with responsive design, all of that optimized loading is actually done automatically for you. So it takes the need to create those separate sites away, and it makes it a more automated, streamlined practice for you, so you don't have to stress out about keeping stuff up to date. Again, the other really big reason, and for me as a business owner, this would be my number one reason for going responsive, is search engine concerns uh, around around how the website is indexed go away. With a mobile site, you've got two websites, and so Google is, or Yahoo or Bing, the search engines are looking at them as two separate sets of analytics, two separate websites, and they make your website look less relevant. So that is one of the things. And the second thing is, Google, they mean business. I mean, they're not just saying, hey, we think your website's not relevant, so we're not sure. But if your website is not responsive in April, then your website will automatically, because of their new algorithm, will not be indexed as highly as the ones that are responsive or are mobile friendly. And that's really something you want to keep in the back of your head, because um, if you're getting good results now, you're getting good traffic right now, and your website is not mobile friendly in April, then you can and you will experience a significant drop in the amount of traffic that you're getting from those search engines. And as a business owner, again, this is a pretty big concern, because the reason we have websites in the first place is for the traffic, right? For our viewers, so we can attract new customers and interact with our existing ones, and so that people can find us. So we need to make these adjustments. Again, this is not a fad. This is absolutely something that's going to be happening, and it's not done for any other reason other than we are recognizing, or the excuse me, the internet world is recognizing that mobile is becoming increasingly important, and that's how people are viewing websites. And so there's a new standard of excellence. There's a new standard that we need to be reaching. So, don't take my word for it. Go ahead and read some of these statistics. 87% of Americans have a mobile phone, and 40% of them will abandon a website if it takes too long to load. Now, that's a pretty conservative statistic. I dare say that it's definitely even more than 40% in some people's cases, right? 67% of people were more likely to purchase from a mobile friendly site. So just think about that. If you've got an online store and you haven't invested the time into creating a mobile friendly website, um, I mean, that's excuse me, that's over 60% of people that could be purchasing from your site that maybe they won't, just for the sheer fact that it's not mobile friendly. I mean, that's a big piece of the business that you're just giving away, simply because the website is not designed the right way to be optimal for your business, right? 74% of people are more likely to revisit mobile optimized websites, and 52% are less likely to engage with a company if they've had a bad mobile site experience. Very simply put, people have mobile devices, and that's how they're visiting websites. And if the site takes too long to load, or if they've got to do weird things like pinch to zoom and try and find their way the website, and we're making them do all this work to get our content, they're not doing it. Forbes magazine said that people today have the attention span of drunken gnats, and it's true. They don't have the patience or the attention span to do the work to log in and deal with that kind of stuff. We need to be designing and and working toward attracting that attention. And if we're asking people to do work, they're just not going to do it. Excuse me. Just one other important statistic I wanted to bring to your attention is 88.5% of the Alexa top rated websites are built responsively. Now, Alexa rates the most popular websites in the world, and it lets you know about how much traffic those websites are getting. And so you could see here that if already 88.5% of these sites that are rated the highest are built responsively, they're on board. And I dare say that by April, nearly, if not all, of the top rated sites will be built responsively. Now, keep in mind that responsive is not just something that you need to think about if you're a big business. This is also something you need to be thinking about as a small business owner, or a medium-sized business owner. Just because you don't have 500 employees doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a responsive site. All of these statistics on the left show you that people are engaging and interacting and taking action more with sites that are built responsively. So, as a small business owner, if you have a solution to go responsive, you should absolutely consider taking that. Now, with maWebCenters, we do have an option. We're going to talk about how to do that in a minute. Just a couple more statistics around the importance of design and the way our content is absorbed by our viewers. So this is really, really important. Um, Viewers on a website, again, they have short attention spans, and so there's certain things about content on the website itself and how it's placed that will increase the engagement of your viewers, right? So nearly 2/3 of people are visual learners, so visual data is processed much faster by the brain than text is, and that just simply means that your eye is going to go to specific parts of a website more if there's a graphic element and if that website is designed well, versus if it's just a regular version on a mobile device and it's all text. Also, adding videos to landing pages can increase conversions by almost or nearly 90%. More than 90% of marketers are now using content marketing, meaning making the content the most important thing. Customer testimonials are the most effective form of content marketing. Guys, what you say about your business is less important to a potential customer than what other customers have said about your business. So take some time to gather some testimonials and some third party credibility and put it on your website. Again, content marketing is generating 3 times as many leads as traditional outbound marketing, but it costs 62% less. So, design and content are critical for the efficacy of your website. Not only does it increase the engagement because it's of the content itself, but the way that it's designed is very important as well. So with maWebCenters, you have the option to actually go responsive on your own. You can create great content that's easy to absorb, and the most important thing here is, the system to manage the content going forward is a simple one because you're not having to do this on a mobile device, but rather you've got one responsive website where you're keeping the content up to date, and you can keep the focus where it needs to be on running your business, not on running an online marketing strategy. We've really simplified this so that you don't have to stress out about managing multiple websites. So you can see here what responsive means, that it will automatically adjust to load properly on different devices. So this is a website, actually one of our designs, that is loading one way here on a desktop version, but when you scroll down here to the mobile version, you notice that it is automatically adjusted to this really cool mobile friendly version. It adjusts the width and things move around so that you're not just looking at some horribly designed site or some site that's so small because it's zoomed out and now you've got to pinch and try and find your way around the website. It automatically adjusts so that the user experience is a good one. Um, and I think that's actually really, really great. So again, it allows you to keep your focus where it needs to be, which is on running your business rather than on running your website. So, a couple of good best practices to keep in mind when you are logging into your account and deciding to go responsive. The first thing to keep in mind is that fixed widths are something that we used to do often with web design, but that kind of gets thrown out the window when you're editing responsively, right? Fixed widths can cause horizontal scrolling on small devices, and what that means is if you build with fixed widths on your editor, then when somebody goes to your website, you're going to see that the website itself is actually wider than the screen, and it's just awkward. So what you want to do is go with fluid widths instead. Those will actually adapt to the size of the screen. A good rule of thumb is to set it at 90%, and the maximum width would be 1,000 to 1,200 pixels. So what I want to do now is I'd actually like to show you a couple of videos around this, just so that I can demonstrate to you what it looks like. So you can see there that when you have that fixed width, it's not looking good. I'm going to show you what that looks like one more time. There you have it. So I'm gonna actually show you that one more time because I want you to understand what they're doing in that visual right there. So basically, what he's showing you is that when the website is at a desktop view in that wide setting, it's showing optimized for wide. But as he moves the width of that page to the left, you're seeing what it would look like on a tablet or a smartphone. Actually, I can just show you that live on some of our settings if you want. Just give me 1 second here. So this is one of our designs for responsive layout in the beauty salon design. So this is what it looks like on a desktop, and then I'm actually going to scroll down so you can see what would adjust here. It makes perfect sense for them to have four different categories here, and then as you move it to the left, it adjusts so that by the time you're at the iPhone size or the Android size, it looks like that. So that's pretty cool. Um, Awesome. So that's what that looks like. So moving on, the next best practice I want to show you is the idea of side-by-side content. And what I mean by that is, before responsive design, most people, if you wanted content to appear side by side, you would create a table. But that actually doesn't work really well. That strategy doesn't work well with responsive design, and it's actually because they don't actually adjust. So multiple page areas set up next to each other is actually what you want to do. So you want to float areas inline. That's the quickest way to set it up. Inline block is more versatile. And again, what you want to avoid is you want to avoid wrapping, is what we call it. Where if you were building it with an old technique, building a table, then when you actually adjust from that desktop down to that mobile version, you don't want some of your content to be wrapping or to appear in the wrong spot. Now, you've probably seen that before when you've gone to, say, like a local restaurant's website on your mobile device. All of a sudden, the content is all kind of jargled together. Sometimes you'll see the title where the text is wrapping, or the image is all weird, or there's content on top of content. The business owner didn't design it that way, but most likely what they did was they built a responsive site and they used tables or other old website building techniques that don't really work well with responsive. So let's take a look at a couple of videos around that, so you can see what we're talking about. Oops. So you can see there that that creates a usability nightmare. People don't want to arrive at a table, or excuse me, at a website and have to go left to right like that. Now, when you're building with tables, that's what you get. So we're going to show you the floating and inline block technique instead. So again, that simple adjustment in the properties of how you're building the site makes a big difference in how it automatically adjusts. The other thing to keep in mind is this kind of thinking actually applies across the board. So it's the same kind of a thing with images. Large images can be too big for smaller screens sizes, and so you'll want to adjust the properties so that images will automatically adjust rather than having that fixed width. So let's go ahead and take a peek at that video. So I think we can all agree that having a website that loads this way, where the images are automatically adjusting, versus the first way where you're having to scroll left and right. I mean, obviously, one way is better than the other. So same thing is true with font sizes. Large font sizes can cause unwanted wrapping or horizontal scroll on smaller screens. You're seeing a common theme here, but that's just the way that it goes. Properties, again, can be adjusted so that the font size will adjust based on the version that it's being viewed on. So rather than just giving your title a specific size, what you want to do is adjust the properties so that you're calling it, like, for example, a header, and the header will be this size on a desktop, this size on a tablet, and this size on a mobile device. Cool. So moving on, we've got navigation. Again, another older but very common practice with traditional or older web design was to have a side navigation or a menu. And that works really well on desktops, but on small devices, it just really works against you, because you run out of room when you have a side navigation for the website to load properly. So setting different properties using the view selector will allow you to have a sidebar for just some devices if that's important to you, but it will take that away from the mobile version, so you don't have to worry about that loading funny. So it's cool to have the option if you really want that sidebar on the desktop viewer. Very good. And finally, we're going to talk about background. So, on smaller devices, less horizontal space means content will actually take up more of the vertical space. So, this can cause background images to behave in weird ways. So, if your website has a background image and it wasn't built properly or the properties are not correctly, it's going to do all kinds of funky stuff. So, let me show you exactly what I mean by that. And I think you'll agree with me. And there you have it. So, with that being said, again, there's a couple of things that we want to keep in mind as we, make the shift to go responsive. But we don't have to be totally overwhelmed because, again, you have support. And secondly, a lot of these adjustments you'll notice are made for the same reasons. We want to avoid content being layered on top of each other or causing horizontal scrolling or other weird things to happen when you go from desktop to mobile view. So, with that being said, I wanted to share with you what your options for going responsive are. The first one is to do it yourself. You can actually log into your website account and you can choose a responsive layout and start editing inside of that and start bringing all of your content into that responsive layout and publish it. You've got unlimited access to our tech support team to help you do this. So if you have any technical questions or you need any advice on how to work with the system, somebody will can literally stay on the phone with you or a member of your staff for as long as you need us to, as many days a week as you want. So take advantage of that, and I really do highly recommend that you do that. If this is the route that you're going to go, a do-it-yourself route using our solution, use the support rather than doing a trial and error uh, process. Because honestly, guys, there's no reason to get frustrated when you've got people in your pocket that know what they're doing that can help you. Another option that you have is a premium responsive layout. Now, what this is it allows you to have a layout that is has 5 additional pages that are built. So our free responsive layouts come with 5 pages that are built, and what's really great about them is we are not, it's not content that's been written that now you have to think about, but rather it's content suggestions. The premium responsive have 5 additional pages of content suggestions so that when you're building your new responsive site, we're actually prompting you with ideas for good content because, again, responsive is just half the battle. The other half of the battle is good content. And so I can actually show you what a couple of those look like. If we just, let's see, actually, did we pull out of those? We did. So just give me 1 second, and oh no, we didn't. Here we go. So when you look at, for example, this one, it's got the appointment scheduling built right in. So all you have to do is answer a couple of questions and it's all set up. And then as you go down, full service beauty salon. Obviously, you don't want to call it that, but that's a title followed by some lorem text that you can replace with your own text. We're telling you that having the phone number available and easily accessible is very important. So replace this with your phone number, superior services, a little description, service 1, 2, 3, and 4. So again, rather than us coming up with a bunch of random text that you're going to just replace anyway, all of these responsive layouts are built in a way that actually prompts you with good content ideas and good interactivity ideas. So I really like that. There's different layouts that you can choose from. This is one that has 10 pages already built. Our stylus, I love this. You can choose this layout even if you're not a salon, and you can, just maybe you just like the layout and use it for that one. This is one of the more professional designs. You can play around with all of these, and then the idea is if you're using a regular responsive, then you would go ahead and publish. If you've chosen a premium responsive, it's still a do-it-yourself option by nature. But in order to publish a premium layout that comes with these 10 pages of preloaded content suggestions, you need to pay a $100 fee. So it's a very nominal fee, and it takes away the reason I like it so much is it takes away uh, a lot of the technical stuff so that you can, just start swapping out content rather than focusing on things like, is it set up properly? Is this going to have some horizontal scrolling? If you choose one of these layouts and you swap out content, a lot of that hard work is actually taken out of the equation for you. Now, the other option, if you don't want to deal with doing it yourself at all, is to just purchase the Design Center package. The Design Center packages can be purchased at any point, as long as you're a website client of ours, and they will be designed responsively, so you don't have to, pay an additional fee to have your website designed responsively. That just gets done automatically, and it's designed inside of the new editable platform, so that going forward, you can still maintain your own content. In addition to that, a lot of our design packages actually come with a free newsletter design as well. So, we have an email marketing system that comes with all of our websites. And if you, certain levels of our design package come with that to be designed so that, again, you're now branding yourself. You've got your new responsive design, and you've got your new email template that's customized to your business. So finally, just wanted to remind everybody that you guys have unlimited access to our live chat support and tech support, which is 866 Web Help. We've also got a myriad of social media platforms and a blog as well, where we are sharing with you guys tips and things that are going on in the marketing atmosphere. And so there's a lot of great content there that you guys could be using, and it can help give you some ideas for ways to market your own business. So make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and that you're checking out our blog and our YouTube channels, which is where we actually upload the recorded webinar series and other helpful videos that we have. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed the session tonight. Make it a great week, and we'll talk with you soon.